Hey everyone, it's Agnach here. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm bringing you another attack strategy that in my opinion is quite strong. It is the Super Witches with Super Arches. For the army you need 6 Super Arches, 3 Super Witches, 4 healers, a few Cockaloons and funneling troops as well. For spells I like 6 lightning spells, 2 rages, a freeze, 2 quakes and a poison. You can also just bring 7 lightning spells and 1 quake, depending up to you. And I also like bringing 2 Yetis with the sneaky goblins in the blimp, usually to take out the town hall. So let me show you some of the replays I had from my recent CWO with 1 hack and also some of my Legend League hits. So this was my first triple with it in CWO. So as you can see, we've got a ring base. I find that this attack is really good against ring bases. On this occasion I did change the spell composition a little bit. I did get rid of the poison and a freeze to be able to bring one of the jumps. I used the warden to just create one side of the funnel, and the lightning spells usually are to get rid of the splash damage. Now as you can see here, on this occasion I brought 7 lightning spells instead of 6, since I could also hit the queen and that way I could get rid of her. Then I used the king on the other side to create the other side of the funnel and send the main pack in with the super witches. The super arches, you put them from behind. Make sure that you don't put them exactly on top of the super witches, otherwise the eagle will be targeting them as well as the super witches, and even though the super witches can survive the eagle damage, the super arches get really badly damaged. The blimp, I usually like sending it directly into the town hall in an area where it's not going to be getting pushed back too much, and get the town hall down nice and quick. That way if my troops do end up going into the center of the base, the poison has expired by the time they get there and they don't get any damage. On this occasion we had the queen just walking on the outside. I also didn't have the lassie, but I would use the lassie on the royal champion. You can really move the pets around, and what I suggest is if you're charging one of the corners with your warden, instead of putting the owl with the warden, just put the unicorn with him. That way you can have the pets for a little bit longer than what they usually last. So if you have the owl there with the warden and he charges into an AD, the owl is pretty much not going to get any value. So that was the first triple. Then I've got another one from the CWO war as well, and same composition. Now on this occasion I'm bringing 2 jumps. I've got the different spells, so on this occasion I didn't use lightning spells. I had 3 rages, 2 jumps and 3 freezes with a poison as well. As you can see, like, you can change the spells around. The composition I use for my Legend League hits are the ones with the lightning spells. However, when you're hitting in CWO, you can change obviously your army, you can change the spells to whatever base you're hitting. So on this occasion I'm sending all of my troops into that corner, put the jump there so that they go to the multi-inferno, and send the blimp from behind to go and get rid of the town hall nice and quick. Now the super archers ended up walking. However, once they got rid of that gold elixir storage and targeting the lava pups, most of them went back inside, which is where I wanted them. We did have one of the super witches just walking around, so I'm just gonna support her with the royal champion, just to try to keep her alive for as long as I can, and then she can clean up all the way through 9 to 12, and we've got the main pack in the center of the base. Now we've got the royal champion just getting rid of the defenses on that side, and we've got the super archers, super witches and the queen in the center. This army is also very good if you're going against multi-inferno bases, as the super witches are quite tanky and with healers are really good, and also the super archers are very tanky if the healers are healing them back up. Over here we use the last freeze for that multi-inferno, and then the base was gone and it was just clean up. So as you can see, it is a very strong army. And now I'm just going to show you some of my Legend League attacks. As you can see, in Legends League there's a lot of ring bases, many ring bases. Now on this army as well, I've bring 5 normal wall breakers. Obviously you can only have 2 super troops, and since we have the super witches and the super archers, I cannot bring super wall breakers as well. So I'm just gonna use the normal wall breakers just to make sure that my army does go into where I want them to go. And as I showed you before, I usually use the lightning spells just to get rid of that splash damage. Usually I always go for a scatter shot and whatever is surrounding it. Now in TH14, as you know, the builder hats will be rebuilding the buildings. So before you start your attack, just make sure you have a look at the builder hats, have a look and see if they're close to the defenses that you want to get rid of. And then what you need to do is you need to do the earthquake spell first to damage the builder hats as well. That way the builder will be busy rebuilding his builder hat, and then you have plenty of time to use the lightning spell for the building that you actually want to get down. 9 times out of 10 I always use the blame for the town hall. As I said, for these ring bases, the best thing to attack them is to just have your entire army walking around the ring and having the blimp just getting rid of the town hall, and the super archer range and the queen's range is long enough that she can get rid of all of the defenses that remain standing surrounding the town hall. They'll just keep walking. Look how many super archers, look how many super witches we've got. We start with 3, we are gonna finish with 3 super archers as well. And the thing is with this army, like, super archers are really good, and usually with a smash, basically the composition, you always want to have a tank, and then you want to have a troop like the super wizard or the super archer. And on this occasion, a super witches can be the tank, but also the big boys are the big tanks on this army. And if they can tank, if the super witches are in front of those super archers, the super archers will never die. And if the healers are healing the super witches, they will never die either. So it's a very, very good attack. Over here we've got another Legend League base that is quite common. Let's see what I do. As you can see, the scatter shots next to the town hall, they're very close to each other, so you will be able to sub them together with only the 6 spells, well, the 8 spells, the 6 lightning spells and the 2 quakes. So I start with the warden walk at 6 o'clock just to create a little bit of a funnel for my troops. Let's speed this up. Alrighty, send the baby dragon just to help him out. We find a few Teslas. Want him to get rid of that warden. Obviously it would be amazing if I can get rid of the eagle, but that would take like 1 trillion years for him to go there. Now another thing I do usually is I put a rage with the super wall breakers, and as you can see here, 5 normal super wall breakers. Under rage they went through 3 layers of walls. So I definitely suggest doing that. And as you can see at the top, I've already gotten rid of the scatter shots as well, and I send the blame from behind. I know it's a little bit risky, but that's okay. We've got a freeze for that single inferno. It manages to get all the way to the town hall. Town hall will go down. We didn't need to use a rage over there either. Now the other thing that you can do, instead of bringing the 2 yetis with 3 sneaky goblins, if you've got a clan where everyone has sneaky goblins, then you can just do like a safe blimp, and that way you can use the rage elsewhere and you don't have to use it for your blimp. I've noticed more and more that the 2 yetis, 3 sneaky goblins with the town hall poison, they pretty much just get rid of the town hall and then that's it. A lot of the times the yeti mites, they just die to the poison, so probably it's better just bringing just a safety blimp, and that way you can save that rage for something else. Over here we've got a base where the town hall is on the outside, so if you're patient enough, the warden can go all the way in and get rid of the town hall. If you do get rid of the town hall with the warden, then you can use a siege barracks instead of the blimp, which is really good as well. However, if you are going to be charging the town hall with the warden, you do need to make sure that you use one of those rages for the warden, otherwise he's not going to be able to get rid of it. And as you can see, we put the siege barracks around 8 o'clock, just funneling as well. You want all of your troops to go into the center of the base. That's pretty much the aim of the game. Any army strategy that you're doing, you want to be able to funnel them to get them into the center of the base to smash the entire base. You do that and they don't walk around, you'll be sweet. In here we've got another ring base. Again, same composition. I think on this occasion I had my hero potion due to me hitting in CWL, so I ended up hitting in Legends League as well. And I was trying to figure out which way was the best for me to come in, and I decided to start the warden walk at 3 o'clock. I used the lightning spell for the scatter shot. Now as you know, the Town Hall 13 scatter shot requires 6 lightning spells and a quake, The Town Hall 14 is 7 lightning spells and a quake. And now you can change one of those lightning spells for another quake. Now the reason why I do the 2 quakes instead of 1 quake and more lightning spells is because you can create more damage to the buildings surrounding the scattershot. The only time that I just bring 7 lightning spells and 1 quake is when I can hit heroes with that lightning spell, obviously, because with the 7 lightning spells sometimes you can kill, or well, you can damage and sometimes close to kill a queen or a royal champion. So that's why I would change that. But on my Legend League hits, I usually don't know if the heroes are gonna be surrounding the scattershot, so I always bring my 6 lightning spells and 2 quakes. And you can use those quakes as well just to damage those builder huts, just to make sure that the builders aren't rebuilding the scattershot. If they start rebuilding the scattershot, like if you're taking too long, that scattershot is gonna get rebuilt just enough that those spells aren't gonna be enough to get it down, and you definitely don't want that. I've had a few fails due to that, and you don't want that. So at Town Hall 14, always Earthquake first and then lightning spells. And here we have the final base. This is an extremely common base from Town Hall 13, and I know it's not max, but it's just showcasing this army. At the moment I haven't had much time to push this month, so I haven't been able to get all the way up high, but that's why I was also showing that I was able to use it with 1/2 CWL, and that's in champs 1 against max bases. So it shows that it can work against max bases, but obviously it can also work against bases that aren't max. So you send the blink all the way into the center. Now the other thing about having the 2 quakes and lightning spells is that if you go against bases like this that haven't upgraded their scattershots, then you only need the 6 lightning spells and the quake. So then you have an extra quake that you can use elsewhere. I usually use it on the Town Hall, but you can use it wherever you want. We've got the super archers inside. What I love about the super archers is the range. I love the tankiness of the super witches. I do think that those two work really well together. Things to be careful is don't take too long on those warding walks. The super witches are quite slow and super archers are not that much faster, so you can run into a lot of time fails, which I have. Pretty much all of my Legend League hits, if they're not triples, they're high 90s, but the high 90s have been time fails. So this army is extremely strong. It is very slow, so just make sure you don't take too long in your warding walks. But well, that's the army. Let me know what you think of it. It's really strong in my opinion. And if you liked the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more Clash. See ya.